Alright everybody, so today's video we're going to be going over some of the best weapons in Borderlands 4 for you to go and farm right now. This is going to be a bit of a different style of format than how I would normally do this type of video in the past. We're going to do it live style, okay? That means we have just about all the weapons that I want to talk about in my inventory, and we're going to do brief little instances of showing how good they are, where you can get them, and their legendary perk. Now, first things first, I do have a notepad here of going over some of the weapons that we're going to be talking about today. You'll notice that we have 4 honorable mentions, okay? Some of these weapons are pearlescents, and 2 of them are some of my favorite weapons, although I feel like at this point they have been just a little bit outclassed, except for you. This one right here is a special one. Now, the thing is that I've found that the Golden God is specifically very, very good on Rafa. Just with how this weapon's perk works, it being a Ripper weapon that always has a COV mag to it, allows for you to, if you have any sort of ammo regeneration, this will allow you to do big works because you'll never actually run out of ammo because you only need 1 bullet to shoot no matter how much ammo is required of it, because the Golden God essentially takes more and more ammo as it's overheated to shoot without ever having the mag break. So let me go ahead and pull up the actual bank real quick because I want to show you just exactly how crazy this works. Now, I will give you a quick little demonstration of how it works as well over on my Rafa, although my Rafa doesn't quite have the level 60 ready to go, so he's still using level 50 S gear, but that is quite okay. As we see, its perk is called Rage. When overheating, the bullet forge does not break, but instead continuously consumes greater amounts of ammo. If you get this with a Jacob's License accessory, you are going to be eating very well. So let me just show you exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so we've landed over on Rafa, and you know, we're actually still vibing it out here because even though I don't have the 3 out of 3 here, like for the, this is where I have my crit knife to have 3 out of 3 in the Deadeye, I can still show you what I'm talking about with this weapon, because the real sauce of this weapon comes in the form of the Quicksilver. The reason why is because the Quicksilver has the duct tape enhancement perk for COV weapons. Guns with COV licensed magazines have a 100% chance to deal crit damage while overheating. This, combined with the Golden God's perk, combined with some just basic love for Rafa and some basic ammo gen, is going to be enough for this thing to absolutely fry. So even though I don't have a fully updated version ready to go, I can still show you just how disgusting this thing can be. As you see, we still just have a lot of ammo gone, but we just never ever let this bad boy stop firing, especially when we're actually in our action skill and we have our Peacebreaker cannons up. This thing absolutely fries, and this is just a level 50 version of it. As you can see, we fired nearly 300 bullets, even though at this point it takes well over probably like 50 bullets or so to shoot 1 shot, because this weapon is never going to overheat, and when it is in this overheating state as it is now, every shot is guaranteed critting. You combine that with the fact that you have a Jacob's License accessory, all of those crits are going to ricochet, making this thing an absolute slaying behemoth. So I guess what we will do quickly is I will just give you all a quick little demonstration against some vault enemies for it. Even though it's not fully up to date, it doesn't really matter because it's still going to absolutely wreck shop, wreak havoc, and be an absolute menace. So we're over here. I'm going to cop some ammo, and we're going to vibe. It's just a quick little demonstration. We have a lot of weapons to get to today. I don't want this to be too much yapping and rambling. This isn't quite a full-on showcase. This is just a demonstration. Here we go. We have some enemies. And once we actually get to, once it overheats, dude, this is where it's at its strongest. Because when it overheats, nothing, and I mean nothing, is safe. It's crazy because we could take it even further if we actually have 3 out of 3 in a Deadeye, which I normally would, but my crit knife with Deadeye on it is currently on both my Harlow and my Cash, so I don't quite have them on my Rafa, but that's fine because even without those, you still see how good this thing is. Keep in mind, guys, this is a level 50 setup and everything like that on UVHM6. Not even a stronger level 60 version, just level 50. And yeah, still, there's a reason why this is like one of my favorite weapons in the entire game. and it comes in with the honorable mention. Yes, you'll notice that we don't have the KOs in here. KOs are still very, very good. A lot of weapons in this game are very, very good, but KOs in itself, I feel like it's not quite hitting in the same ballpark as some of the other weapons are, and that's okay. But I do have to just be brutally honest with what we got here today. We have a lot of really good weapons, especially because the KOs in was really good due to the fact that it could put a lot of toric stickies on a boss in a very short time. Then when you'd reload, the boss would be defeated. It'd be pretty decent in mobbing, but I feel like there's just better weapons for it. Now you'll notice that I'm actually coming over here because I'm going to deposit this weapon right here, the Whiskey Foxtrot. The Whiskey Foxtrot, as you can see, it is as on our honorable mention here next to the other legendary, and we'll talk about the two Pearl Essence in just a bit. But as you see, I'm putting that over here because I want to just give you a quick little demonstration on cash on why the Whiskey Foxtrot can be very, very good. Also, if you are enjoying the video so far, do consider leaving a like on the video and or subscribing, as it does help the channel tremendously. We do a lot of streaming over on our Twitch channel as well, twitch.tv/KRee, if you ever want to check your boy out doing some gaming live. We don't just do only like Destiny and Borderlands on the Twitch channel. I've been experimenting with other games such as Slay the Spire 2, which I have found to be very, very fun. I just loaded it right onto Rafa again, didn't I? That is me being silly, but we're over here on cash. By the way, if you want to farm the Golden God, all you got to do is farm Idolator Soul in the Fortress Indomita of the Idolator's Noose. That is where you'll get yourself your hands on the Golden God. Just make sure you are getting it with Jacobs. It's always going to drop with the Ripper and COV license mag. Now, let's go ahead and pull out our Whiskey Foxtrot, our little beautiful rapid-fire spewing assault rifle, because this is a weapon that I've always considered to be a prime example as to why the license part system is just a very, very good addition to the series, to the game, because this weapon traditionally, it does have a very high rate of fire, but it's naturally a burst fire weapon. However, with Ripper, it allows you to completely bypass the fact of it being a burst fire, and it allows you to completely just dump and take full advantage of this weapon's rate of fire. And I did get lucky on this level 50 version to have it drop with Jacobs as well. So what this means is we're going to absolutely wreck shop. Just straight up, we're going to completely and utterly wreck shop here. So let me show you. All right, look at this thing. Look at how fast this thing fires. This is absolutely disgusting, right? If you want to farm this weapon, I believe, what is it, Mimikron who drops it? This dude? I believe it is this dude. I'm sorry, it's actually Directive Zero who is over in Dominion. Yeah, I remember now. I'm sorry. The Mimikron drops the complex route. This is the boss you want to farm. Directive Zero, he's going to be your guy that drops the Whiskey Foxtrot over in the Iron Wall Resolve Order Bunker. Now let me show you just against some enemies here. We'll actually go to the old Strafe Ripper drill site because there's a weapon that's going to be on this list later on, as you would have thought, because it is that good. We're just going to go ahead and show you a little demonstration over here just how nutty this thing can be. Now, once again, this is a weapon that I haven't gotten its level 60 version just yet. Some of these weapons, man, they just take a little bit more time than others to get, with how many really good weapons there are in this game in general. Sometimes other things are going to have to take priority over others, which is a-okay with me. But let me just go show you just real quickly. If anyone who's started playing the game a bit more recently, you may not be aware of how really just nutty this weapon can really be. I'm here to show it to you just real quickly and real briefly. Keep in mind, we're just in the honorable mention section at the moment. Yeah, I'll use some of these enemies just real quick. It just fires ridiculously fast. Way faster than you would think. Let's go ahead and just spawn some of these ads in here. Yes, casual random explosion enemies. How not obnoxious can that be? As you can see, a lot of these enemies, man, they get completely rinsed and ripped apart, and this is not even its final form, because essentially at level 60 you're doubling the base damage of the weapon, and everything else after that is basically gravy and scaling, because you're just dealing with bigger numbers at base to get them to that point. And with this weapon, that will be absolutely insane, as for most weapons it would be. Obviously for bad weapons it's not as insane, because a bad weapon, a polished turd at the end of the day, is still a turd, right? But this weapon is like a rocket, so making a rocket go even faster, be even better and cooler is really, really cool. And I just wanted to quickly demonstrate to you that this weapon, even at level 50 in a level 60 scenario, completely fries. I will say one thing is that why it's in the honorable mention is that it kind of struggles a bit in the bossing department. So because of that, I can't quite put it in like just like top 10 best weapons in Borderlands 4 at the moment, just because it's bossing. It's not even just, it's just not that impressive. And yeah, I've kind of run out of ammo here for the little demonstration, but you get it. There's a reason why we have the Whiskey Foxtrot here. And even though it's not level 60 in this demonstration, it's still really darn good. And that's why it's in the honorable mention. We did not get the weapon to drop for us here. So we're going to migrate over now back to the heart of the mountain, because we're now going to talk about some pearlescents. Honorable mentions still, but still really good. These are actually 2 new pearlescents that we got with the Vault of the Damned Sword DLC. As you can see, I have one of them on me, and I have the second one right here. We have the Soul Survivor, the Crowsourced, and the Crazed Earl. Yeah, this is supposed to be the Crowsourced. Yeah, the Soul Survivor, it's cool that it can be a phosphine pearlescent, but it sucks. All right, don't get it twisted. These 2 are the good pearls of the DLC. Let me just tell it to you straight up. So some people are going to have issues with this weapon because it is an order weapon, but it is a unorthodox order weapon, because watch how fast you can charge charge it up, right? Look at that. You charge it up that fast. Whereas if you were just to like single tap it, not even close. Charge it up like this, you get all those projectiles. You can shoot some eggs, throw some rocks. The rocks do the ricocheting, even though it doesn't have any Jacob's accessories on it. And I believe, because it leaves stickies, right? This thing leaves some stickies, as you can see. In the full burst, it'll fire some eggs that do some splat, some rocks that do some ricocheting, and then some stickies that do some boom booms. Okay? The thing about this weapon is that it can be farmed from the main boss. What is it? Captain Willem, over in the Whispering Glacier. You have to go all the way through the maelstrom here, and then over there, this is where you can actually farm it. Like you go in here, jump through the portal, and then you have the Moxie Encore machine there, and you can run the route, run the reps, and hopefully get lucky. And then of course, the Crazed Earl Pearl drops from Crazed Earl. Now the thing about Crazed Earl is that he's actually a pretty darn valuable boss in terms of his loot, because the shotgun here is actually a pretty disgusting weapon. Because first of all, look how fast this thing can fire, right? It just fires, it just rips. And then the other thing is, schmack, is that when you do melee damage, that's when it actually, like, its main pearlescent perk comes into effect. They'll go fire shards that stick into enemies. Mailing enemies with shards will explode the shards and send them toward other nearby enemies. I believe this procs with the Slippy and or a Mantra. Also, having it drop with a Jacob's License accessory is very, very nice. And it's a Ripper shotgun, and Ripper shotguns, just in general, are a pretty darn good set of just weapons. Like, Ripper weapons are actually pretty darn good, especially just depending on the weapon and setup to get around any firing shenanigans. But I don't want to go too much crazy on showcasing our honorable mentions here, because as you can see by our list, we have a lot to get to. So we'll start at the bottom. There's not necessarily any particular order in which these are listed in, but these are still weapons that I consider worth talking about. Okay, no particular order, but let's get to it. So we have my personal favorite weapon, the Wombo Combo. We did a recent level 60 showcase on this bad boy, and this thing is absolutely disgusting. Why? Because if you have a fast rate of fire like this weapon does, you're going to make more use out of this weapon's legendary perk through the Rip Rockets perk. Rockets automatically fire from the underbarrel, giving heavy ogre vibes from the Borderlands 3 weapon, which automatically just fired rockets instead, right? And its rate of fire increased as you held it down. This, you just hold down the trigger and occasionally it's going to fire rockets. The faster that you have any rate of, like, the faster you're firing this thing, the more rockets you're going to get out of it, the more disgusting it's going to be. I would not consider this a bossing weapon, but it is okay in that department. It's definitely a mobbing behemoth, which I will happily briefly show you over. We'll just run into a nice little vault and you will see just exactly what I'm talking about, because this thing as a mobbing weapon is one of the best out there. It's one of the best in dealing with any vile enemies, any ordinary enemies, any enemies that have those pesky crystals that you have to destroy first before actually dealing damage to their health bar. I know for me personally, I've just never been the biggest fan of those enemies, and luckily for us, this weapon can make some absolute mincemeat of those types of enemies. Just, yeah, see, any explosives generally do really well against vile enemies, and this is a Vladoff weapon that feels honestly like a Torg, but it fires so fast because it's a Vladoff, and it's very nice. There's a reason, like, it's one of my favorite weapons in the game. Actually, it's just flat out my favorite. Still is. It was my favorite at launch. It's my favorite here. It's really good. By the way, if you want to farm it, you got to go hit up the good old bullies, or bait bullies. The bait, dude, come on. Sometimes, dude, like, I don't know why, but like the map feels very like finicky. Like I'm trying to navigate to, and it's not letting me. I don't know why that is a thing. I chalked that up to like a Borderlands moment, but like, dude, let me use my map. Thank you. You have to come all the way up here to this Tripper Drill site, right? The Cyclone Tripper Drill site. The grunts, the baby grunts, they are I think it's Lil Grunt himself that drops the Wombo Combo. But yeah, if you want to farm it, it's dedicated drop. That is where you are going to go, my man. And as you can see, just a little by little demonstration. If you want to see the full-on showcase, bro, we did a full-on hour-long showcase of this beaut, where we took it everywhere across the game. All 3 vaults, Ordinite Processor, Bloom Reaper, all on UVH-M6. If you really want to get a good idea and grasp of how good this weapon is at level 60. And yeah, with that being said, we can move on to our next weapon here, because we have a lot. We just flat out have a lot of weapons to go over. So next up, we shall talk about the Shalashaka, and then wait until we get to the Scoot and Shoot, because the Shalashaka is one of the Bounty Pack 2 weapons that I have found to be pretty darn nutty. Now, I'm showcasing most of this gear on our new Vault Hunter cache here, but I feel like the Shalashaka might perform a little bit better on someone like Harlow. My Harlow at the moment is only level 51. She's not quite there to be showcasing ready just yet, but that's okay. Give us some time. We have a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes and whatnot. The other things got to get put on the back burner so I can focus on other responsibilities, man. I'll be honest. Real life, kind of kicking my butt right now, but we vibe. So the Shalashaka, I want to give a thank you to Gentle Sir, my man. He helped me get this bad boy at level 60. You really do want to get a Torg license impact. Obviously, any Torque Sticky would be really good on this as well. But having a license impact allows this thing to really frag out. And then if you are really lucky, you get a Daedalus shotgun alternative ammo type. This is really good because its legendary perk awful lot on auto reload grants a stack of exhilaration. Each stack of exhilaration increases the number of possible ricochets by 1, resets on manual reload. We're not going to do any manual reloading whatsoever here, but let me just show you how disgusting this thing can be. This is probably one of the best like Ordinite processing weapons in the entire game, with just how it behaves and performs with its perk, with it being a Jacobs that you can get stickies on. This thing will rip apart some of those enemies and you won't even have to think about it, which is part of the reason why it's so good at that specifically. In terms of bossing, it can boss really well. It can mob even better. And the thing that's like the real draw is that like this is a Jacobs weapon, and you just need to get Torg, a Torg license part on it. And then here, I'll switch off of the shotgun mode to show you the normal pistol mode, just in case, because like farming multiple part accessories on one weapon can be a little bit troublesome. So I'm going to quickly just demonstrate for you what it is, and it's just normal pistol form if you didn't get the Daedalus shotgun portion of it, right? Because it can actually still be pretty darn satisfying, even against some of its not ideal situations. This weapon on Harlow, I would say it's like really strong on Harlow, and you can really feel just how good it is on Harlow. As on cache, oh, I know the problem here. Is because here's the thing about this weapon. You want to increase the splash radius as much as you possibly can. That helps a lot with the perk, with the torque stickies. So the easiest way I found to do that is just get 2 out of 3 airstrike firmware. You get splash radius, splash damage, and then if you're lucky enough to get it on a pounder, this is also really good. This is going to increase your damage radius by 100%, which is very good. I knew something was slightly off because I didn't have it equipped. Sometimes, dude, like when I'm showcasing all these, like each weapon in its best scenario, it needs, like, there has to be little tweaks here and there. And sometimes I just, you know, just not perfect, bro. But as you can see with the pounder equipped, you can definitely feel its strength and prowess. Yeah, vile enemy. What vile enemy? Goodbye. Adios. Of course, if you like to farm this weapon, that's funny, I actually can't show you here because since I made this cache, obviously, after the Bounty Pack DLC, the second one, the Stone Demon, I can't, like, just pull up the fast travel area. I would have to run to it, but Vortex, he's the guy that drops it. Vortex also drops, wait for it, our next weapon that we're going to be talking about. This weapon, the Roulette. This is an order weapon where you just really want to get a Ripper licensed magazine, okay? Reasons why is because it completely bypasses what makes order weapons bad, right? Which is that you can only fire them in a brief stint. You know what I mean? Like, order weapons in specifically benefit the most from Ripper, in my opinion. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to rock with the Roulette against the boss, because I believe that the Roulette has just a lot of raw capabilities in itself. And here, let me try and get up to more buffs, because the way this weapon works is that whenever you reload, you gain random buffs, and those buffs are determined right here. You can see if it has 4, 5, 6, 7, that just tells you how many buffs it has, and those buffs are referring to stat increases. Okay, so right now we have 4 stats that are increased by 100%. Whether it's your magazine, rate of fire, reload, accuracy, or damage, crit damage, it's going to show up in the bottom left. Now, currently, let me just show you exactly how nutty this thing can really be. Even with it not even having max stacks or max, like, ×7 buffs, it still did pretty darn good in that scenario. Kind of melted in Septus there. Keep in mind, you know, UVHM6, it's the Roulette. And this also drops the same spot as the Shalashaka. Not the Shalashaka. Although the Shalashaka you can find at any Ordinite, like, processing spot, right? You don't need to farm Vortex for it. I know I just said it because I was thinking mainly of the Roulette here, but these can be farmed at any Ordinite processor. Whatever you prefer, any Ordinite processor can get you this. And if you want to farm the Roulette, that's where you want to go. You want to go to Vortex for the Roulette and the dough shot if you like the dough shot. Dough shot's pretty cool. It just didn't make this list here. But the Roulette, I feel like it just showcased how really good it can be. It can melt bosses insanely fast. It can melt enemies insanely fast. It can hold those buffs because every Vault Hunter in this game has the ability to upkeep whatever magazine they have. Cash, Rafa, Amon, Vex, and Harlow, all the ability to just never reload for a duration, however long it may be. And that's something that is very noteworthy because that plays perfectly into this weapon. You kind of essentially brute force reload, get you a ×7 buffed magazine, and you are ready to go. You are ready to go. So the Roulette is still just an absolute beast, especially at the level 60 that we are now. Very strong weapon. And we'll just go back to the bones real quick. Part of the mountain, I'll show you a little bit more, just shooting at a dummy as we keep it moving. Also, let me know your thoughts and opinions on this style for this type of video. These types of videos will generally be a bit more heavily edited, but I feel like for right now, doing it a live style is we're doing a pretty good job. But yeah, like this is like the power of the Roulette. Like this is disgusting, right? Anyways, let's go ahead. We shall switch it up here because what's the next weapon? This bad boy, the Scoot and Shoot. This is a weapon I feel like that kind of just replaces the KOs in my opinion because of its legendary perk. The legendary perk is just ridiculous. Rolling deep. Phantom guns. Fire from the locations of your previous shots. Phantom guns reset on reload. This is insane. Okay? This is actually just flat out ridiculous. So let me just show you real quick. I'm going to shoot here. I'm going to shoot here. I'm going to shoot here, here, here. And I'm going to just rotate. And then I'm going to now shoot like this. And you can see all of those extra guns are just letting it rip. And because it's a sticky weapon, yeah, the stickies stack up insanely fast. Like, look at that, dude. This is a DLC weapon that drops from Crazed Earl. You could argue that this is better than his actual pearlescent itself. I mean, this is... yeah, this weapon can kind of be flat out, I don't want to say shell-shocking, but it can leave you speechless with how this weapon behaves. As long as you don't reload, and we just got done talking about how so many Vault Hunters have the ability to not have to manually reload, you can just upkeep it through some sort of synergy in your skill trees. This allows for just insanity. Raw, crazy, unfiltered insanity, and it's honestly just so disgusting. This weapon single-handedly has the KOs and out of this video entirely. You could argue that could be an honorable mention, but just for what this weapon does and is able to do, especially against any bosses, you're going to absolutely shred any boss that comes at you, because it just keeps firing from any location that you fired, and you're constantly moving. You don't play this game standing still. You play this game keep moving, and the only way that the phantom guns ever reset is on a manual reload. Or just reload, my fault, I thought it was manual. Don't reload this weapon, you'll profit so much. Scoot and shoot. Absolutely amazing, amazing DLC weapon. Farmed from the same spot as the Crazed Earl Pearl. You could argue it's better than the Crazed Earl Pearl, and it's going to drop more often than the Crazed Earl Pearl, leading you to get a Jacob's one very, very fast. So, with that, let's talk about another really disgusting new DLC weapon, and that is going to be from none other than the Cyclone. The Cyclone is probably #1 or #2 best SMG in the game. This, we're not even going to showcase it on the dummies. We're going to go straight to Origo's Vault, and I'm going to show you against these enemies. This is a weapon that can boss and it can mob very, very efficiently. This SMG is so disgusting. And once again, you definitely want to get this bad boy with a Jacob's licensed accessory. The thing about this weapon is that it's always going to drop in cryo. As a Malawan weapon, it's never going to drop in any other element to switch it to. It's always cryo. Chance on hit to explode and spawn additional projectiles is a legendary perk. This is very, very, very strong. Anytime a weapon can add some form of extra projectile, explosion, whatever it may be, that instantly provides value, because that's another way, another form of damage that we can get, that we can scale and make really, really insane. So these enemies are going to absolutely regret existing, because the Cyclone is so gross, especially being cryo. Cryo is just a very good element in general, and with the fact that we can get crits pretty easily, have them ricochet through the Jacob's accessory, and even though it's a Malawan weapon, it's never, you're not fighting any RNG to get the specific element you want. It's always cryo. And I feel like there's a little bit to hang your hat on with something like that, where it's not much RNG in the element that you need. I feel like weapons that don't take much RNG to really get, like the Hot Slugger, for example, those are very valuable weapons, right? Because you're not going to spend much time, getting down and dirty trying to get a specific heavily required roll. Oh, an elemental eater. See, these are the types of enemies that completely ruin the game. Because yes, I only have cryo, but it's okay, because we shredded them, absolutely ripped them apart, because we're goated like that. The Cyclone's goated like that. Enemy, we'll see you later. It just does a lot for us. Yeah, this is cooked, fried, absolutely. Cyclone is very, very, very good. This weapon drops from the Opinion Steel. It's also a boss that can drop the Soul Survivor Pearlescent, but let me tell you right now, bro, you don't want that Pearlescent. Maybe you do if you're a collector, but in terms of an actual usable weapon, you want the Cyclone. It drops from this guy right here in the Whispering Glacier. I'm telling you, you will love this weapon. It is so good. It is actually so freaking strong, and one of my favorite guns in the game, which is why it is here. Now, we still have some other weapons to showcase, so let me pull out some of our favorite shotguns in the game, okay? Shotguns in this game, just in general, are they're just very strong and very powerful. And there's weapons and shotguns that I feel like you should be looking forward to getting. Okay, we'll just put on our Widowmaker. Doesn't really matter, bro. But these weapons are obviously base game legendaries. This drops from the Chad, the Craven's like order bunker, literally right by the Heart of the Mountain testing dummies, right? It's one of the, literally it's right here. You just fast travel here, do a little meandering, walk on over, get into this little order bunker, and you farm this guy until he drops your hot slugger. And then of course for the Hellwalker, as I said earlier, it drops at the old Scrape Ripper drill site. These are base game shotguns that are so disgusting and so good. The level 60 really benefited them. So now what we're going to do for the rest of this vault is I'm going to use the enemies to showcase how good the hot slugger can be, and then I'm going to disintegrate the boss with the Hellwalker. All right, straight up, flat out. And you know what? We might even have to go to Bloom Reaper. Bloom Reaper's got to at least make a cameo in this video. But let's do some slugging. Of course, the thing about the hot slugger that makes it really good is that it can just store up and build up a 90% damage buff through its legendary perk, which is just kind of insane. And even though sometimes some enemies can be a little bit annoying, for the most part, dude, you're just going to be one-shotting a lot of especially like basic low-tier enemy. You're just going to one-pump them and not even think twice. I mean, well, what's bad about that? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. But it can, against some of the more healthy enemies, it can be a little bit finicky. But like, dude, once you just build up its perk, you profit. Plus, this is a Jacob's weapon at base, so a lot of the times you're gonna just douse an enemy and you're not even gonna think about it, and it's gonna douse another enemy like that. Like, see, you're not even aiming because it's a Jacob's weapon and it ricochets. It's naturally very wait, what? I don't appreciate getting randomly put in a fight for my life. I really don't. Like, what could have possibly put me in a fight for my life right there, bro? Explain. I need answers now. This is one of the more, I don't want to say polarizing weapons, but like this is one of the weapons that everybody who's played this game, this is a weapon that they've heard the name of, they know of, the Hot Slugger. It's a slug shooting shotgun, and it's really good. Who would have thought? A slug shooting shotgun, very good. Abso-freaking-lutely. So here's the funny thing, is that we have a Fire Hellwalker, and we're gonna go fight Origo with it, and Bloom Reaper, and it's going to be a pretty fun scenario here. So let's just build up our actual perk, because the thing is that you definitely need to, like, for this thing to be at its maximum efficiency, like, I would not consider the Slugger a bossing weapon unless you're using the gamer class mod to proc a bleed dot and infinitely have that bleed dot stack up to ridiculous numbers. Of course, that's a bit, what you doing there, bud? Of course, that's a bit more out there than the standard typical actual shotgun style of play, but in just overall reality, and like, let's be real here, you're not really going to use a slugger for bossing. We have other options. I mean, it can boss, but like, primarily, bro, you're here to wipe the floor with any enemy that comes across your path, right? With the hot slugger, because when everything's up and running, its perk, your skill trees, your specializations. Our specializations, by the way, aren't really that good. They're all ordnance focused, so nothing in this video is relying on the effectiveness of our specializations. And a vile enemy, yes, these guys can be a bit annoying, especially on for this type of weapon. This is where I wish I was still showcasing the Wombo Combo, because I despise these enemies. I genuinely don't like these enemies whatsoever. Awesome. I despise vile enemies. I don't like them. Let me just destroy this guy real quick. Yeah, bye, fool. Okay, yeah, that's enough hot slugging. Let me move. Let me move, silly black hole. And now we're gonna use Hellwalker, because the Hellwalker is one of my favorite guns. This gun is very good. It was a BL3 menace when it got its buff, and in this game it took a little bit, but it's completely up to speed now. I'm gonna show you why. This thing is so freaking good, dude. I'm telling you. Look at this thing. Also, it has a guitar riff every time you shoot it. That's plenty enough for me to like a weapon. It's so aura, bro. This weapon has so much aura. And speaking of which, you know what we're gonna do? Oh, KOs in 4%? No. Do need to get to level 60 KOs and showcase done. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go over to Bloom Reaper now, because I want to show you how good. There's a few weapons that we still have to left to showcase here and talk about. And Bloom Reaper is actually a pretty decent spot for some of the best weapons in the game to show. So we're gonna go ahead and head over here instead and do it. Shotguns in this game are just so good. Oh, a vile enemy? Bye. Bye-bye. Yeah, my Hellwalker says no. I love this shotgun so freaking much. Like, this is one of my favorite weapons, and especially for any people who really like to play cash. Cash makes the Hellwalker so good because you can get it to where you don't have to reload. You can just dump its reserves. When a shotgun that hits this hard as a double barrel and it's just, it absolutely rinses. It's very fun. It's a very fun play style because the reload on this weapon in general is very, very fast. But then we go that extra step to just flat out ignore it in the first place. That's insane. That's Borderlands. That's why we like Borderlands, man. And the best part is that we still have a couple more weapons in the tank to showcase for you guys. This video is not quite over yet, but for these next level of Super Giga Chad Elite weapons, I figured the only proper spot to showcase them would be Bloom Reaper, because all of these weapons in general have the ability to completely dunk on this oversized, ugly plant. We've arrived at the plant man himself. Here's the plan, okay? I want to do a run with the remaining weapons, Hellwalker included, and try and showcase how good these weapons are against Bloom Reaper. Now, some of them will do better than others against the crystal. The Hellwalker itself, it's good against the crystals, but it's not the best against the crystals in my opinion. And yes, obviously platinum runs are what we want, but it's not the end of the day if we don't get them, right? It's not the end of the day if we don't hit them. All right, we got Mr. Plantman coming up. I feel like this is a pristine spot. Also, it's live, and when it's live, I feel like it's a bit more valuable in terms of just, you know, like I'm not like sitting here farming for clips. Like, this is just flat out how it's gonna be. Like, we're ready. We're ready for them. Yeah, boy, come on down with the best around, baby. Yeah, hey. Come here, boy. Rip his eyeball out. Why won't it let me rip his eyeball out? I know how this gosh darn fight works. It wasn't letting me rip my eyeball out. Yeah, dude, look at the... Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. You're scared, bro. Come on. Yes. That's the Hellwalker, right? Complete, utter domination. It's the reason why this weapon is so freaking good. And, you know, we had to talk about it. We had to mention it. But we still have a couple other weapons to showcase against this oversized plant, okay? So, might those weapons be? What if I told you they're base game weapons, bro? What if I told you they're base game weapons? Because we have, wait for it, the Darkbeast, the Bod. Yeah, we got level 60 versions of them. Here's the thing. Here's how this is going to work. What we're going to do is I'm going to now dunk on the plant with the Bod and the Darkbeast. The Bod destroying the crystals, it's actually not best at that. It's not best in slot at destroying the crystals. The Darkbeast is, it can nuke the crystals and the boss itself. This is a base game weapon, okay? The Darkbeast is a base game weapon that you farm from one of the earliest bosses in the entire game. Meaning, if you are someone who just started playing the game, you just created a fresh level 1 Vault Hunter, you can farm yourself a decent Darkbeast very early on because the boss is Varaxis that drops a Darkbeast. Look how, like, you start the game over here in the Coastal Bonescape, you fight yourself some Splash Zone, you can immediately start fighting Varaxis and getting yourself a Darkbeast to help carry you through the game. It's that good. It's that good. The thing is that you have got to get it with a Ripper mag. The god roll of the Darkbeast is Jacob's license accessory, Ripper license mag, and the Daedalus shotgun ammo. You notice I don't have that last part on this weapon, but I do have it here. I have essentially a mobbing one and a bossing one. Although if you have it combined, it can literally do all of it by itself. And if you look at our list here, you'll see that we've talked about all of these. We've talked about these. Oh, wait. We didn't talk about the Darkbeast, but we talked about the Cyclone, the Roulette, the Hellwalker, the Hot Slugger. So that leaves us with just the Darkbeast and the bod. I know some people are going to be like rolling their eyes at the mentioning of the bod, but hey, facts are facts. A bod with Torg, stickies, and SMG to Daedalus alternative ammo, absolutely prize. But, let's have some fun with the Darkbeast first. All right, here we go. It's Darkbeast season. We're going to do one run of Bloom Reaper for the portion of the video to showcase because we still have to do a bod run here. But I just want to, I'm not even focused on if it's a platinum run or not. I just want you to see how strong the weapon can be. First of all, look at this. Look at how fast it gets rid of the crystals. If, like, honestly, that alone is plenty enough value for me to appreciate this weapon because the crystals are so freaking annoying. Where's the Ordinite pieces? Yeah, there we go. There we go. There we go. So now methinks we're going to use this one, okay? This one has the shotgun ammo on it, all right? This is very, very important. Bye. I probably don't want to waste its ammo because where are you going to jump? Jump around. Jump around. Jump up and get down. All right. Yep. Pull out its eyeball. Oops. But now, you know, yeah, this is just the SMG version too, by the way. SMG version right there, because yeah, I kind of ran out of ammo like really fast, but it's cool. I got some more ammo for the boys. And boom. You see how, you know, the funny part is that wasn't even like the best like we could have done. Like we could have done way better. Did he drop 4 legendaries? Oh my goodness, he dropped a jet setter too. But yeah, like that's an example of how disgusting the Darkbeast is. This is one of the earliest weapons in the entire game that you can farm in the base game. And it's this good. It is actually so good. I would consider it the best SMG in the game, with the Cyclone just being right under it, because it is that good. It is genuinely one of the most disgusting weapons I've ever used. And as you can see, it was very good and strong enough to easily get a platinum run of UVHM6 Bloom Reaper. I feel like any weapon that can do that, there's at least some merit to it. Because beforehand, bro, it actually, I would like to say it still is a relatively, like, not the easiest thing to do. It's still a very good representation of a weapon's raw stopping power and ability. Holy crap. I've been looking for the goalkeeper at level 60. Wait for the goalkeeper level 60 showcase. But overall, man, this weapon is just a very, very good. And I would say there's a chance for you to really just put this weapon on and never take it off. It's that good. But we still have one more weapon to talk about. One more weapon. The most infamous weapon in this entire game. The ceramic bod. It's very important that the ceramic bod is the one with the Torque stickies and the Daedalus SMG alternate ammo, right? It's a Daedalus weapon at heart, so it's always going to have some sort of secondary fire, but you need it to be SMG. Assault rifle's good, but SMG is best in the slot. You get Torque stickies to stockpile, and your damage is going to go through the roof. Of course, if you want to farm the bod, I would say that the boss that drops it is one of the better, like, just bang for your buck, very valuable bosses in this entire game in Axmal. Axmal also drops the kill spring along with the bod, which is by far and away, it's my favorite rep kit. I use the kill spring in every fracking video. We've been using it all of this video because it just simply, it's very great survivability without you even thinking about it. So you combine the fact that Axmal drops this and the bod. Yeah, dude, this is one of the most valuable bosses in the entire game, bar none. If you are someone who just started playing the game and you're like deciding on which bosses to farm, one of the best base game bosses to farm bar none is Axmal. Flat out, straight up. Okay? Now that we have that out the way, the role you want on it, let's use it. Yes, I did get lucky when farming for it to actually go ahead and get a Phosphine one on top of getting a updated level 60 bod with the rolls that is required. So one thing that we will do for this run is, since we're just using, I might do 2 runs of Bloom Reaper for the bod, just because I'm going to use the Darkbeast here to get past the crystal phase, because you guys saw how good this thing is at destroying the crystals. So valuable, so good at getting rid of the crystals, man. It really is. And once it's out, it's out. So now we can start botting it up, because anybody who's played Borderlands 4 since launch has a... You guys know what this weapon is capable of. It's actually so disgusting, and I kind of rude with how good it is. Like, it's honestly so good, it shouldn't be this good. Oh yeah, the boss is so scared of our bod. He's running away. Pop. Pop. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Yeah, spawn your whatever, bro. You see how fast I shoot? Look at this. I can't reload it. It's so, dude. It's freaking bod. Freaking bod, dude. This gun feels so unfair. It's so busted, dude. It was... Oh my god. We're gonna do another... Ew, terrible passes. Terrible passes. I'll pick it up, though, bro. Y'all gotta let me know, any Amon mans out there, if that lamplighter is a good one. But what we're gonna do another run of Bloom Reaper for the bod, just to really hammer home how awesome this weapon is, because some of these weapons got a little bit longer, you know, showcasing brief instances on how good they could be, and the bod being just a top 2 weapon in the entire game. You could easily argue it's still number 1. I wouldn't even bat an eye, wouldn't even argue with you on that. Oh wow, I got a dog movement, huge. But we're gonna keep it moving here, because we need to do another run. A weapon with as much stature as this needs a little bit more love, don't you think, guys? I think it's only fair that the bod itself gets another shot, another run at max Bloom Reaper, because oh my goodness gracious, God almighty, this thing is so freaking good, dude. Once again, the Darkbeast. I feel like we did a good job in this video showcasing some of the best weapons and saving some of the best weapons for last, because I mean, dude, some of these weapons, I mean, they're a cut above the rest. Like, I love my Whiskey Foxtrot, but it's not doing what the Hellwalker, the Darkbeast, and the bod and the Cyclone are doing. It's not even close. It's not even freaking fair or close, dude. It's just not. And yes. Oh, wait. Can I be goated? I want to be goated. I want to be goated. Yes. I'm goated. I'm so goated. I'm so freaking goated, bro. Oh, dude. Nice. Nice, bro. Nice fracking. That's all you got, bro? Like, your health bar just went away so fast. I didn't know what happened to it, bro. Where'd it go, Plant Man? Mr. Plant Man. Mr. Plant Man. Don't worry. Don't worry. See ya. Yeah, dude. Ridiculous weapon. I mean, just ridiculous, dude. Some of the power that these weapons possess. Like, it's a stick. Look at, like, yeah, it's that good. It's that freaking good of a weapon. And before we go any further, I do want to show you all the setup and build. This is we've been on the same setup, and oh, what? I didn't even have on the pounder, bro. I didn't even put on the pounder. It's fine. It's fine. I was supposed to put on the pounder for the bod portion. I forgot. It didn't matter. It was irrelevant. It was still absolutely disgusting. You put one in the alchemy. This is the same build that we've used for a lot of showcases on cash recently, just over since the DLCs came out. It's a very, very strong. You get one in the Can't Stop Winning, one into a Cursed Bone in the Green Tree, and then for a lot of shooting without ever having to reload, that comes from the War Wagon and Nothing Beats Lead combo. This basically allows for you to pull ammo from your reserves, which is really, really good on a weapon like the Hellwalker that only has 2 shots in the mag before you'd have to reload it. This allows you to continuously fire it without ever having to do any reloading. And like I said, the specializations are irrelevant because they're spec'd into ordnance, and these weapons were still absolutely frying. But you guys are gonna have to let me know down in the comments below, how did I do? Was this an acceptable list? Is there some weapons you would take out and put in? Because at the end of the day, this is the list that I had come up with for our honorable mention. We had a Whiskey Foxtrot, Golden God, Crow's Source, and the Crazed Earl, 2 pearlescents in the honorable mentions. Kind of crazy that like in the actual main list, we had zero pearlescents. But hey, in the future, maybe we get some like god tier goated pearl. And they call it the Pearl of Ineffable Knowledge, but it's a weapon and not a artifact like it was in Borderlands 3. Hey, I'm just spewing ideas. Cyclone, Bod, Roulette, Hellwalker, Hot Slugger, Darkbeast, Scoot and Shoot, Shalashaka, and the Wombo Combo are our main weapons. Chaosin has been bumped out. You could probably put Chaosin in the honorable mentions tier, but for the sake of the video, we have it like this. Thank you guys so much for watching. Huge thank you and shout out to our channel members. Bodotron is a new channel member at the Kaioken tier 2 tier. Much love. Thank you so much, my man, for supporting the channel. And a big shout out to our continued support from our other channel members and Pikachu, KJ, Perplexity, and General. If you ever want to get your name mentioned in videos, guys, all you gotta do is become a tier 1 member of the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Do consider subscribing, dropping a like, and I'll see your beautiful faces in that next one. Adios.